North Korean regime's continuing unlawful missile launches and testing activities signal its contempt for the United States, its neighbors in Asia, and all members of the United Nations. In face of such a threat, inaction is unacceptable for any nation.
Brian Yanis joins us live right now outside the UN with more. Brian.
Well, Melissa, look, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson urged the UN Security Council to continue pressure and sanctions on North Korea. He also called out Russia and China, saying that it's not enough just to vote for increased sanctions, as they have been doing through the UN Security Council, but they must do more to actually implement these sanctions, i.e. China should stop allowing oil to run into North Korea. But also, Tillerson, importantly, walked back the notion that he said on Tuesday this morning, Tuesday, earlier this week, in which he said that there would be no preconditions for the U.S. to talk to North Korea. He had said earlier this week that the U.S. would be willing to speak to North Korea as soon as they wanted to. Well, today he walked that back just moments ago. Take a listen.
But our hope remains that diplomacy will produce a resolution. As I said earlier this week, a sustained cessation of North Korea's threatening behavior must occur before talks can begin. North Korea must earn its way back to the table. The pressure campaign must and will continue until denuclearization is achieved. We will, in the meantime, keep our channels of communication open.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as well as other members of the UN Security Council, have made it clear today that what the UN wants to do is actually act as an intermediary, making sure that there is no miscalculation or miscommunication that could escalate this into a devastating war. That is what the UN is trying to do. And in fact, just last week, the UN's top political affairs head, the Undersecretary Jeffrey Feltman, went to North Korea for a meeting, a first of its kind meeting between the UN and senior officials of North Korea in about 8 years. And what they talked about there was about a 15-hour back and forth. And the North Koreans said ultimately that it was important to prevent war, but they were uncommitted when it came to whether or not they would engage in talks. So the UN trying all they can to exhaust all options. But one thing that is clear is that this Security Council will not accept a nuclear North Korea. And North Korea, as of now, doesn't seem like they will accept being denuclearized themselves.